Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the August 23rd, Wednesday edition of StudentLoanJustice.org. My name is Alan Collins. Welcome. We're glad you found us. Particularly if you're new to the group, please spread the word about this group. We're the only group fighting the student loan battle only and absolutely for student loan borrowers, and in a way where we can actually win. And I can explain that a little bit later if you want me to. Anyways, we've been around for 18 years, guys. We've been featured on 60 Minutes, in the New York Times. We've broken news at the Chronicle of Higher Education, the Wall Street Journal, many other places. We know all about the student loan issue, guys. And I'll save my breath and just launch right into tonight's topic. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about the presidential election. So in years past, we have lived in Iowa in the run-up to the Democratic primaries. We've traveled across the country to every debate, every political convention in the past 8 years, going back to 2016. This time, however, guys, I have to say, we don't really have a party to vote for at this point, a party or a candidate. And I'm very sorry to have to report that, but you know, quite frankly, it was true in 2020, 2016 as well. So, you know, we are a fiercely non-partisan group. We can't stand the Republicans or the Democrats at this point because they both have abandoned and betrayed us in one way or another over many, 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 many years. And so, for example, last election in the run-up to 2020, we probably would have endorsed Elizabeth Warren, maybe Bernie Sanders, but we knew Joe Biden too well. We could not endorse him. We could not endorse Donald Trump. And that was true in 2016 as well. We could not endorse Hillary Clinton in 2016. We could not endorse Donald Trump. So we really had no candidate to go for, although the past two elections, and if you have any questions or comments, you're watching me live, throw them out. I'd be interested to hear your take. The past two elections, at least, were sort of interesting, right? Because the candidates were, at least some of the candidates were promising things. And anyways, I guess the biggest point that I want to make here tonight is that we have no party, we have no candidate at this point. The one bright spot in this election race that I've seen up to this point has been the fact that Ron DeSantis in Florida has called for the return of bankruptcy protections to student loans. Now, if you're new to the group, you have no idea, I suspect, how important the constitutional right of bankruptcy is. Because we have found over 18 very long years, most notably in the past 2.5 years under Joe Biden, that as long as we don't have that little tiny toothpick of power, that is the leverage that having student loans treated the same as all other loans in bankruptcy proceedings affords us, we will get nothing from either party. And that's true, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in the last election, Joe Biden was promising to cancel student loans broadly. He was promising to return bankruptcy protections to student loans. The Democratic National Committee was promising to return bankruptcy to student loans. And we voted, many of us voted for Biden, certainly not all of us. We're as I said, we're officially a nonpartisan group, guys. Whatever your political stripes may be, you're very welcome here. We pretty much hate both parties at this point. But Joe Biden snagged a ton of student loan borrower votes based on his agenda. And guys, I'm just here to tell you, he was never serious about any of that. Like right after he got elected to being president, he goes, "Oh, canceling student loans? Oh, no. By executive order? No. I won't be doing that." He said that. And he was only led kicking and screaming to doing broad student loan cancellation by executive order. And quite frankly, guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I really think that they did that $10,000 loan cancellation gimmick in such a way as to make it vulnerable to court challenges. There was never a good reason for him to do it that way. He could have just canceled the loans and then dealt with the lawsuits later, that would have been the strong way to do it. He didn't do that. I think they purposely wanted this thing to fail. And I think people like Nancy Pelosi and, tried and true Democrats, Susan Rice, people like that frickin' douchebag, Jared Golden out of Maine. Very many establishment Democrats never wanted to see student loan cancellation by executive order. And, I mentioned Elizabeth Warren favorably earlier. Guys, I have to say that on bankruptcy, which lies at the core of everything, believe me, you might not realize why that's true. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. That's not the point. We've got to have the leverage of bankruptcy before we will get anything meaningful from this president or the next. So Elizabeth Warren taught bankruptcy law at Harvard for many years. In fact, our very first big splash in the national television media, which was a top story on 60 Minutes, we suggested that they interview then Professor Elizabeth Warren, and they did. And she was teaching bankruptcy law at Harvard, by the way. And she nailed that interview. She said all the right things, did all the right things. As a senator, Senator Warren, the only good thing that I can point to that she's done for student loans was essentially taking out what started on this group, our idea of canceling student loans by executive order, which we launched into the public conversation with our petition at change.org/cancel student loans. Many months before she picked that up. But to her credit, she and Chuck Schumer picked up that concept and made it into a thing. And so we're glad that she did that. But guys, I look at the presidential field now, and on the Democratic side, I only see Biden right now. Maybe I may be wrong. It remains to be seen what actually happens there. But last session, the Democrats betrayed us on bankruptcy, guys. They just did. They had the trifecta of power. They had it in their party agenda to return bankruptcy rights to student loans. They chose not to do it. They chose to betray us. The one tiny window of opportunity that they've had in the past 13 years to actually do something for us, a long-held promise, fulfill a long-held promise, and they chose to betray us, and they did not return bankruptcy rights to student loans. On the Republican side, they're all basically just evil, guys. I was glad to see what happened with what Ron DeSantis said, but I don't think, and maybe you disagree, but I don't see any path to anyone but Donald Trump getting the nomination. And we're pushing Trump. Make no mistake. Donald Trump actually said some pretty favorable things about some very honest things about the student loan program before he even ran for president in 2015. He said, "Why is the federal government using the student loan program as a profit center? That makes no sense." And he's right. That's true. It makes no sense. As president, Donald Trump was basically a disaster. The one thing I can say in his favor was, believe it or not, Donald Trump is really the only president to actually cancel student loans broadly by executive order. So he did it before the pandemic by executive order, canceling the loans of 25,000 disabled veterans. And he also enacted the very first student loan repayment pause by executive order. And so Donald Trump was maybe not the only, because Biden also extended the repayment pause, but President Trump actually is the first president to cancel student loans broadly by executive order. So anyways, that can be done. But forgive me if I'm not very excited about the presidential race this time around, guys. We've been on this merry-go-round 3 times now. 4 times really, if you count going back to Obama. And and actually that's valid. 4 times. So guys, I don't know what to tell you about the presidential election. I would say just, we can't trust either party, and don't give away your vote. Just, I may actually very well not even vote in the next election, the way things are shaping up. And, I used to think that was a terrible thing to say. Oh, don't vote. No, that's terrible. You got to at least vote. You got to do your civic duty. But you know what, guys? If they give us choices that both of them are doomed fail, abandon, trick, and trick us, why do they deserve our vote? I mean, we can only endorse the Green Party in the last couple elections, and that obviously is fraught with its own difficulties. So, and I'm open to your questions or comments. You may have some. I'm looking for your questions and comments right now, by the way, guys. But otherwise, I think I'm going to call this a pretty early live stream tonight. Two quick announcements. Number one, please donate if you can, guys. We've gotten almost no donations in over the past couple days, and we need 23 people to donate $20 or more this week. And if you're new to the group, I'm sorry to even have to ask. We can survive on very little funding, guys, very little, but we cannot do it on nothing. And so if you appreciate this group, particularly if you've never donated before, just please donate something, would you? So I can shut up about it, because I absolutely suck at fundraising, and that's always been true. It's a difficult fight that we're in, guys. We really don't have any friends among either of the political parties at this point. And when I say we, I mean student loan borrowers. That's 43 million federal borrowers and another 10 or 12 or 13 million private student loan borrowers and co-signers. We've been abandoned and betrayed by both parties, guys. Call it the uniparty, call it a class war, call it whatever you want, but it is mind-numbing, because we are the largest untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. Like, over half of us are Republican or independent. I kid you not. That's true. I could also say that over half of us are Democratic or independent. The 40% independent in the middle really moves the needle either way. But yeah, guys, we are a huge number of voters. With over 50 million student loan borrowers in the country, that is nearly enough to elect a president outright. So I would only finally conclude by saying we have a lot of power, guys, and don't give away your power to the lame political party who says some nice things with all kinds of weasel words behind it, like the Democrats have been doing. At the same time, obviously, don't give away your vote to fucking Republicans who just never say anything or do anything in our favor. They're just terrible. I wish I had some better answers for you guys. I wish there was a party that I could really point to and say, yep, we got to go with these guys. But that's a lie. It's a complete and total lie. It's a good cop, bad cop thing. And the Democrats betray, I don't know which is worse, the good cop or the bad cop. The cop who hits you across the face with a baton, or the cop that says, hey, man, I'm just trying to help you, man. What can I do to help? That's the Democrats, the good cop. It's bullshit, guys. It's complete bullshit. And I am truly sorry to have to say that. And if I were the Democrats, I would be extremely concerned that their rose-colored rhetoric is wearing very thin. And we, the borrowers, are not stupid. We're not kids, by the way. And we are politically untethered. We're not a bunch of liberals that are going to vote blue no matter who. That's not true now. It's never been true. So anyways, I'm just kind of saying that, and I will be watching the vice presidential debate here tonight. Maybe you will be as well. The only reason I'm watching just to see if Ron DeSantis actually says anything about bankruptcy and student loans. That's the only thing that's the only interest that holds for me. I wish we had a candidate to get behind, guys, and if and when that happens, you'll be the first to know. But I am not seeing it from either the Democrats or the Republicans. So there's a lot more that I should say. If you're new to the group, just please go to our website. Do a couple weeks worth of our daily actions. This is a working, fighting group, guys. Hopefully you can tell. We're not here to blow smoke up your ass. We're not here to sell you on loan consolidation, on loan rehabilitation. We're not trying to make money off of your ass, but for the little tiny nickel and dime donations that we need to literally keep our lights on. That's like, it's nothing. But we can't do it on nothing. So But yeah, we the only thing that we do is fight for student loan borrowers, guys. I'm an honest person, and hopefully that's coming through in the authenticity or something of this live stream. But we will get nothing done unless you sitting there help us get it done. And the first and best thing that you can do is go to our website and get into the habit of doing our daily actions. Like, at least on paper, we have 1.4 plus million people in our group. But that's meaningless, guys, if only 500 or 1,000 people a day are doing our daily actions. Daily actions are the minimum that you can be doing. So go to the website, do our daily actions. We're also asking everyone to get us into a meeting right now with their member of the House of Representatives. We had a really good meeting today with a Republican. I'm not going to say who. Thanks to Tiffany, I'm not going to say where from, for making that happen. Just read the things scrolling below me and you can understand. We need you to get us into a meeting with your House of Representatives representative, ideally with either they themselves, which would be perfect, or their judiciary staffer. We can do all the talking, but you have to set that meeting up because you're the constituent. We can't make that meeting happen. Only you can. And we're trying to make it very easy for you, ladies and gentlemen. So doing our daily actions, joining your state chapter group, which I don't think I mentioned, but again, you can see it through the website. We've got 50 very good, very growing state chapters that we need you in. And just take it from there. Maybe also go to our Medium website, which I will dial in here, and just read maybe 5, 6, 7 of our articles at your convenience. You will learn a lot. We've done a lot of research and we've learned a lot of things. And much of what we have learned is jaw-dropping stuff that you don't know and you would be stunned to know. The media has never reported on it, believe it or not. Most of the articles there have never been reported on, but they are nonetheless very, very, very true. I've written books on the topic. I'm highly credible on the subject, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we do not say wrong things about student loans. We are very extremely careful and thorough in our research and make no claims that can't be very strongly and indisputably supported by usually nothing more than federal data from the federal government. So you can trust that research, guys. And as I said, it will just reading a few of our articles will make you a very fine, fit, and fierce student loan justice warrior. So join us in this fight. To everyone who's in this fight, I salute you. I know a few of our best members are getting their loans canceled these days, which is going to hurt us a lot. So I'm very worried when these loans get turned back on October 1st that we're not going to have good fighting people fighting this fight with us. But that's where you come in, guys. This is sink or swim. These are your loans. This is your problem. So I hope you will take that to heart. I hope that at least something that I said tonight will get you off your ass, because that's the one thing that we've been missing over 18 years of very fierce, loyal, and dedicated fighting on this. So spread the word about this group, as I said at the top. Please donate so I can shut up about it. And I will be back tomorrow. So good luck. Godspeed doing all that stuff. Have fun with it. It is fun. It's cathartic. Feels good. And God bless everyone. See you tomorrow.